Hello everybody, I'm Larry with Larry Under Pressure, and in this episode we're fixing Hawaiian meatballs with Smokies. These are simple to fix, inexpensive, very few ingredients, and just take a little bit of time in the slow cooker. So let's get started. I've got everything all laid out and ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is add a whole bottle of honey barbecue sauce to the pot. This is cheap sauce from Walmart. You can use your favorite sauce. Cheap sauce, expensive sauce, it doesn't seem to make much difference because by the time it cooks down, it's going to have the flavor from the beef and the pineapple and the Smokies and the jelly and everything else, and so it's not going to make that much difference. The next thing we're going to add is 1 jar of apricot jelly. I'm using Smucker's, but you can use anything you want. That's about all I could find. Evidently this time of year apricot's not real popular. Or maybe it's not real popular ever. But it'll sure enhance the flavors of this dish. There goes our apricot in. Let's get it all out of the jar. We need all of it in there and not waste any of it. Got it. And we're going to stir that around. That barbecue sauce smells good. Stir that up. Doesn't have to be stirred real well. And then the next thing we're going to do is add 2 pounds of regular meatballs, not the Italian meatballs, but the regular home-style meatballs. I buy these at Walmart, the Great Value. They're just as good as what you can make yourself. They're frozen. These are actually thawed because they cook a little bit quicker. So I thawed them first, but you don't have to. You can put them in there frozen. And here's a package of Hillshire Farms beef Lil Smokies. They can be Hillshire Farms or any brand that you like. Let's put those in and we'll mix that up and get it all mixed together and move to the next step. Okay, ready to give it a good stir before we start it cooking. Let me zoom in a little bit on it. So far we have the jar of apricot jelly, a bottle of barbecue sauce, a 2-pound bag of frozen meatballs, and a package of Lil Smokey sausages. Stir it up. We'll stir it again while it's cooking. We'll stir it every little bit. But we're going to go ahead and get started cooking. We're using the Ninja Foodi, but we're using it just as a slow cooker. So this can be done just as well in a crock pot as you can in a Foodi or anything else. So let's turn it on. We're going to go to slow cook on high. And we need it for 3 hours, but the Foodi minimum on the slow cook is 4. So we're going to go to 4 hours, and then we'll check it about every 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and start it, and then we're going to check back in 30 minutes and check and see how they're doing and give it another stir. When we have approximately an hour left in the cooking cycle, at that time we'll add 1 can of pineapple chunks that we've drained. So we'll be back when it's time to stir. They've been cooking for about 45 minutes, so let's take a look and see. There shouldn't be a lot of changes made yet. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, it's beginning to melt down a little bit. So let's give it a quick stir. All of the jelly has melted and the barbecue sauce is blended real well, so it's doing just what it should do. Let's close it back. We'll come back in a little while and check it again and see where we stand. It's been a couple of hours now. It's time to put in the pineapple chunks. Let's take a look. It's getting nice and thick now too. It's thickening up, smelling good. The meatballs are beginning to get darker. Let's put the pineapple chunks in. There's a can of them. It's been drained. I'm going to put them in and stir them up. Then we're going to let it sit here and simmer in the slow cooker for another 30 minutes and take another look at it. And at that time, I think we'll probably call it quits. There's a closer look. Look at that. How good does that look? Be back in 30 minutes. It's been almost 3 hours now since we put them in. Just 20 minutes shy of 3 hours. They smell done. Let's take a look at them. Oh yeah, they're done. Let's give them a stir. The sauce is nice and thick and clingy, just like we wanted it. The pineapple looks perfect. The Lil Smokies are done. The meatballs are done. Looks great. I think we've done a real good job on it. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see. Aren't they beautiful? I'm going to plate them up. We'll plate them up and take a look and take a couple shots of them, give them a test, and wrap this up. I didn't put these in a serving bowl. I put them on a plate so you could get a better look at them. I'm going to zoom in on them just a little bit. Look at that. Delicious pineapple, Lil Smokies, meatballs, good thick sauce. Let's take a taste. First I'm going to try one of these pineapples. A smoky. It has an excellent flavor. And one of the meatballs. Perfect. Keep in mind that even though I've cooked these in the Ninja Speedy, I did that, and I usually cook in the Speedy because it's my favorite go-to appliance that I use for just about everything. These can be done just as well in a crock pot or any kind of a pressure cooker that'll do a slow cook without using the pressure. A Ninja, Instant Pot, any of those things. If you do it in the crock pot, that's probably the best source to use for a serving dish too. I've done it on a plate to show what they look like, but to serve them, it's best served out of a plugged-in on low crock pot to keep them good and hot. And they're just delicious. In the instructions that follow, in the comments below, I've got a full write-up of the recipe, the ingredients, and links to items that we use at Larry Under Pressure. And by clicking on any of those items, including the Speedy, if you purchase it, we do get a small commission on those items, and it costs you nothing, and it helps the channel. So take a look and see if there are things you like. Please feel free to order, and it helps us a lot. Subscribe to the channel, like if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks again for joining Larry Under Pressure.